Hello everyone, it's Becca from Becca Books and Bujo, and today I am sharing my December reading wrap-up. I think December was my worst reading month as far as number of books finished. I only finished 6 books in the month of December, which is a little sad. Here comes Bonnie. Those 6 books added up to 2,331 pages. Out of those 6 books, 1 was contemporary, 1 was a historical fiction, 1 was a magical realism, 1 was a mystery, and 2 were romance. All 6 of these books were written for the adult audience. And as far as format goes, I read 1 of these strictly physically, 2 of them were on audio, and 3 of them were a combination between audio and physical. My average rating for the month was 3.38. Like I said, bad reading month. 6 books, average rating 3.38. Not very good. So this will be a short, quick video when I talk about 6 books. Anyway, let's jump in. We'll start with the lowest rated and move up to the highest rated. My lowest rated was a 2-star. I actually had 2 stars. So the first is The Joy Luck Club by Amy Tan. This book follows 4 women who play mahjong together and their daughters. And that's basically all I can tell you about it. It is very choppy. So like one chapter you follow one woman, the next chapter you follow a different woman, next chapter you follow a different woman, the next chapter you maybe follow one of those women's daughters, and so on and so forth. You never really even return to the original or to one of the characters. It's like 8 different chapters about 8 different women. You kind of get the mother in the daughter's story, but it seemed very disjointed to me. The first chapter set up the book to what I thought was going to be this journey for one of the daughters to find her siblings, her long-lost siblings in China. And I thought that was going to be the whole book, but no, that doesn't come back until the very end because you get all of these other stories. Yeah, it was just confusing. The other thing that added to the confusion was I listened to it. So I wasn't able to go back and reference, wait, who are we talking about? What happened to this woman? And so that was very difficult listening to it. So it was only 2 stars. I really did enjoy the storyline of that first mother telling her daughter that she had sisters in China, but she didn't know where they were or what happened to them. Please go find them. So that story really intrigued me, but otherwise I was lost. So unfortunately, this one was only 2 stars. The next 2-star read was One Day in December by Josie Silver. This was what I thought was going to be a Christmas romance, more so a winter romance. So this one, what happens is Lori is on a bus one day and she spies a man out the window of the bus and instantly falls in love. They have this connection through their eyesight, through their gaze, and she's in love. She spends a year trying to find this guy, no luck. So when she decides to move on, she finds the guy and it's her best friend's boyfriend. Now she respects her best friend and sees that her best friend is really in love with this man, and so she doesn't do anything about it. But their relationship somehow continues, and over like 10 years of friendship between Lori, her best friend, and this man, Jack, she ultimately finds her way to love. She falls in love with a different guy on this vacation that she takes. I don't know. It was kind of boring, I guess. I wanted the romance between Lori and Jack to happen more frequently, I guess. And that wasn't the point of the book because it was supposed to be like the beginning, the end. Ta-da. Let me see what else I wrote about this one in my reading journal. Yeah, ultimately I was bored. The couple that you're rooting for the entire time don't end up together until the very last page. And so ultimately it was more fiction than romance, which is not what I was going for with this book. So I was looking for romance. So this one was only 2 stars. Not a win for me, unfortunately, but fun to read in December nonetheless. We take a huge jump in my ratings from 2 stars to 4 stars. So the first 4-star, and actually both of these are library reads and had to return them because I had them out for way too long and my library was calling me asking for these books back. So I will just put a picture of it. But the first is Comfort and Joy by Kristen Hanna. This is a story about a woman. Let me see what her name is. Joy. Duh. Okay. Joy is experiencing a midlife crisis of sorts. Her relationship has shattered. Her friendships have shattered, and so she decides to escape. And on the escape via airplane, the airplane crashes, and she is sent to this magical world, this teeny small town where she befriends a little boy and his father. They own a ski resort and the father is trying to sell it, but along the way she and the little boy convince him to keep it, and she falls in love with this little boy while also falling in love with the dad. And yeah, it's really sweet and magical. It brings out the magic of Christmas, which I think we all get a little bit of. I don't know what it is about Christmas time, but it's truly magical. And I'm not going to say what else happens in the book, but if you've read the newest Jodi Picoult, Wish You Were Here, you'll understand. There's a twist, like in Wish You Were Here by Jodi Picoult, that kind of shakes you up a bit. So it was good. I really enjoyed it, and it was a fun read, especially during the Christmas season and the magic of the season. Then my next 4-star is The Winners by Frederick Bachman. I love Frederick Bachman. He has a way of writing characters so well, and writing a story around the characters where you don't see how they are going to come together, the characters, that is, how their lives are going to intertwine, but then they do, and it's amazing and beautiful and so good. Anyway, The Winners is the 3rd book in the Beartown series. There is Beartown, there's Us Against You, and now I think this is finally The Winners. I picked up The Winners after not reading Beartown and Us Against You for like 3 years. So I did not remember the story. I had to quick look up a synopsis of the first 2 books. And I think that ultimately took away some of the love for this book that I should have had. I wasn't in the town of Beartown. I hadn't remembered the characters and all that they had gone through. So jumping back in, it was more of a shock, and just trying to remember what was going on than actually being able to sit with the characters and feel their emotions. So that was, I think, the only downfall for me. Let me explain, first of all, what this book is about. I forgot to do that, firstly. So, Beartown, the first book, is about this town that revolves around hockey. Everybody in Beartown either plays hockey, knows someone who plays hockey, or watches hockey. Hockey is life in Beartown, and a big tragedy happens in Beartown that has to do with one of the hockey players and a girl, and you watch what happens to this town as the hockey team crumbles and as this poor girl crumbles. And so Us Against You just follows those characters again. The Winners follows those characters again. And The Winners, you see more of a rivalry between Beartown and the neighboring town Hied, and how people will do anything for their town hockey team, which is just crazy. You also see some very sad things happening, especially with the younger characters. It's just very sad to see such young characters go through such terrible things in their life. And so, I don't know, Frederick Bachman is able to pull emotions out of you really well, and in a very well-crafted way, I would say. So this was good. I think it might be higher rated than a 4-star if I would have read Beartown, Us Against You, and The Winners all back to back. Next, we have another Christmas romance, a 4.5-star this time. This is Kiss Her Once for Me by Allison Cochran. This is a great book. It is so, so fun. So in this one, we have our main character, Ellie, and she has this one-night stand with this gal and pretty much falls in love with her, but then never sees her again for an entire year. A year later, she is in a really bad situation in her life and finds herself in a marriage or engagement of convenience with a rich guy who's going to help her get out of her financial hardships. And she goes to the rich man's house for Christmas and finds out that his sister is the woman she had a one-night stand with. So it's crazy. And I mean, the marriage of convenience is for an inheritance for him, and so he doesn't want to tell his family that it's a fake marriage, and she obviously can't say anything but is having these feelings for his sister, and so it's just so fun and so cute. The only reason it got docked half of a star was because of how many times Ellie thinks about Jack, which is the woman. Her name is Jacqueline, but she goes by Jack. How many times Ellie talks about Jack's thick thighs. And I don't know. That just was like an ick for me. So that's why it got docked. It's not like my favorite romance of all time, but everybody should read it. Super cute, super good. And lastly, my 1 5-star of the month. It's a 5-star for everyone. Pretty darn sure. It is Finlay Donovan is Killing It by Elle Casimano. This is a super fun mystery about our main character, Finlay, and she is an author trying to publish a book, her next mystery, murder, thriller book. And when she is at Panera with her agent, trying to pitch her the story, she's overheard by someone at the next table who thinks that she is a murderer for hire. And so she is accidentally hired to murder somebody. She is obviously not going to go through with this, right? But then she does some research into who she's supposed to kill and goes to find him and talk to him and see what's going on. And then trouble happens. And it's just crazy the way this story plays out. She's not going to do this murder, but then things happen, and yeah, it's just crazy. I can't give things away, but ultimately she's tied up in this murder investigation, and it's hilarious. It's just it made you laugh, but also was suspenseful at times because you're like, oh no, what's gonna happen to poor Finlay? She didn't actually do this, but yeah, so it's really good, really sweet. I can't wait to pick up Finlay Donovan Knocks Him Dead and Finlay Donovan Jumps the Gun. I think that's the second and third one. So yeah, this was a win, 5-star. So glad I read this one in the month of December. So these are the books we've got for December, plus The Winners, which was a huge book, by the way, like 600 or 700 pages. I was not expecting that from Frederick Bachman. They're normally like 300 to 400 pages, a normal size novel, and this was 700 pages. Anyway, this plus The Winners and Comfort and Joy, a small little stack this month. That's okay. I was enjoying family time. I was enjoying my vacation with my husband and enjoying Christmas. So let me know if you've read any of these books, and if you did, what you thought of them. It'd be great to have some bookish conversation with you in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please like this video on your way out. Consider subscribing to my channel if you would like to see more bookish and bullet journaling content from me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!